individuals by the government by requiring that the government present evidence to a judge or court to justify taking a person into custody. The provisions included in the 2012 NDAA allows for American citizens suspected of terrorism to be indefinitely detained in military custody without charge or trial. The bill goes far beyond terrorists linked to the 9/11 attacks, to include anyone defined by the president as engaged in hostilities against the United States or its coalition partners. Under the new law, the President of the United States can designate any American citizen if desired, to be arrested and detained for life by the U.S. military. This means that it could include domestic opponents of U.S. military action and/or the U.S. government, including opponents of any war or even the Occupy Wall Street protesters. The Occupy movements have horrified politicians, especially the public uprising at Wall Street. The original indefinite detention proposal came from United States Senator Dianne Feinstein, who was chairwoman of the United States Senate Select Committee on Intelligence. The irony in all of this is that Senator Dianne Feinstein's husband is a war profiteering banker. The type of individual the Occupy Wall Street movement is targeting. Richard C. Blum, husband of Senator Dianne Feinstein, is the majority shareholder of URS Corporation that has interest in the construction of military installations in Iraq, Afghanistan and the United States, including homeland security contracts, training military personnel, manufacturing weapons components, and managing installations. The Center for Public Integrity has reported that U.S. Senator Dianne Feinstein and her husband, Richard Blum, are making millions of dollars from Iraq and Afghanistan contracts through his company. Feinstein voted for the resolution giving President George W. Bush the authority to invade Iraq and now the indefinite detention bill that was signed by President Obama. It is obvious that a quid pro quo relationship exists between Dianne Feinstein's legislation proposals to government in exchange for contracts. Far left is Richard C. Blum, First Lady Michelle Obama, Dianne Feinstein at President Obama's inauguration. There is a power working behind the scenes to strip citizens of their liberties and have absolute control over the world. Whatever your views on who was behind 9/11, it is impossible to deny that the United States is well on its way to becoming a police state. But who is this power? The Indefinite Detention Act is an extension of the Patriot Act. The mastermind who crafted this piece of insidious legislation is Roman Catholic Jesuit Professor Viet Dinh of Georgetown University of Law School. The Jesuits and their agents have one goal and one goal only, and that is world domination. The Jesuit order aims to destroy America along with its principles, the secrets of her prosperity, republicanism and Protestantism. History reveals that when Catholicism gains ascendancy, totalitarianism and fascism prevail and liberty on conscience is stamped out. President Barack Obama was groomed by the Jesuits. Let's have a look at Obama's Roman Catholic Jesuit connections. Now most people know that Barack Obama worked extensively in community organizing in the 1980s. But what is not so well known is that this community organizing was done when Obama was hired by a lay Catholic minister, Jerry Kellman, as lead organizer for a Chicago organization called the Developing Communities Project, funded by Southside Catholic churches. Obama's mentor Gregory Galuzzo was a Jesuit priest. Obama's Jesuit-trained ethics professor speechwriter John Favreau was educated at Jesuit Holy Cross College. Obama's senior military and policy advisor Major General J. Scott Gratian is Jesuit-trained at Georgetown University. Obama's communication director Dan Pfeiffer is Jesuit-trained at Georgetown University as well. Leon Panetta was hand-picked by Obama for CIA director in 2009 but now has been given the job of Secretary of Defense. Leon Panetta is a product of Santa Clara Jesuit University. Obama chose Jesuit-controlled Joe Biden as vice president. Here is President Obama receiving an honorary degree at Jesuit Notre Dame University. The indefinite detention bill provides $662 billion for the U.S. military and even authorizes the U.S. military to seize individuals anywhere in the world and hold them in a military detention facility indefinitely, without a trial or any other legal recourse. By making this the law of the land, President Obama has provided himself and any other presidents to follow the right to indefinitely detain any American citizen in the future just by the arbitrary position of the executive branch. He has just implemented a de facto police state similar to those observed historically in fascist and totalitarian regimes globally. This legislation suggests that certain liberties and freedoms must be sacrificed in the name of protecting the country from further terrorist attacks. The NDAA is more of a threat to our freedom and our rights than any terrorist ever can or will be. Make no mistake, the indefinite detention bill is a war on the United States Constitution. The Roman Catholic assault on the U.S. Constitution is as follows. The Jesuit-led decimation of the Sixth Amendment trial by jury by indefinite detention. Director of the National Security Agency and ex-CIA Director Michael Hayden, who was Jesuit-trained at Duquesne University, tried his best to dismantle the Fourth Amendment, protection from unreasonable search and seizure by spying on U.S. citizens.
My understanding is that the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution specifies that you must have probable cause to be able to do a search that does not violate an American's right against unlawful searches and seizures.
Actually, the Fourth Amendment actually protects all of us against unreasonable search and seizure.
But
that's what it says.
The measure is probable cause, I believe.
The amendment says unreasonable search and seizure.
But does it not say probable?
No.
The court standard, the legal standard,
search and seizure.
the legal standard is probable cause. General legal standard is probable cause. General legal standard is probable cause. General, the terms just a few minutes ago, we reasonably believe. And a FISA court, my understanding is, would not give you a warrant if you went before them and say, we reasonably believe. You have to go to the FISA court, or the Attorney General has to go to the FISA court and say, we have probable cause. And so what many people believe, and I'd like you to respond to this, is that what you've actually done is crafted a detour around the FISA court by creating a new standard of reasonably believe in place of probable cause, because the FISA court will not give you a warrant based on reasonable belief. You have to show a probable cause. Could you respond to that, please?
Sure. I didn't craft the authorization. I am responding to a lawful order. Right? The Attorney General has averred to the lawfulness of the order.
Yes, the Vatican has declared war on the U.S. Constitution and U.S. citizens. The Jesuits, who are a stealthy military Roman Catholic order, have been patiently increasing their death grip on the United States of America. The next amendment on the Jesuit hit list is the Second Amendment, right to keep and bear arms. Michael Quigley is member of the U.S. House of Representatives and Jesuit-trained at Loyola University. In May 2011, Representative Quigley sponsored an amendment to the Patriot Act prohibiting the sale of weapons from those on the FBI's terrorist watch list. Representative Quigley believed that the Republican limitation of civil liberties under the Patriot Act contradicted their unwillingness to limit Second Amendment rights. This bill, proposed as an amendment to the Patriot Act, came under fire from House Republicans representatives James Sussenbrenner Jr. of Wisconsin and Louis Gohmert of Texas, who argued that this would infringe on the Second Amendment rights of those mistakenly placed on the terrorist watch list. Catholic Campaign for America is another organization that is wanting to establish a Sunday law. Enforcing a Sunday law strikes at the very heart of the First Amendment. The First Amendment is as follows. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. You may ask yourself, what is wrong with the Sunday law in a Christian country? Well, the fact of the matter is that Sunday keeping is a child of the papacy and cannot be found anywhere in the Holy Bible. The origin of the first day of the week, Sunday, is steeped in paganism, namely sun worship. Jesus Christ, His disciples and future Christians kept the true Sabbath, Saturday, the seventh day of the week. But in 321 AD, God's holy day was changed by Emperor Constantine. This is the biggest conspiracy of all time. You should research this matter immediately. The United States government will enforce a Sunday law known as the Mark of the Beast. This action is on the cards as the Christian coalition held a meeting in March 2008 under the security of the Roman Catholic infiltrated National Security Agency. This video has shown you who is behind the destruction of the United States Constitution. You have seen how America is now a virtual Roman Catholic police state. Now hear this. And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation, and kindred,